Have you ever had a moment so embarrassing you wanted to disappear? I walked into the family dinner without realizing I was still wearing my gym clothes and heard everyone laugh behind my back, but the worst part happened when my crush offered me a ride home. I thought I had prepared myself for a simple, casual family dinner. It wasn't supposed to be a big deal. Just a quiet Sunday night meal with my parents, my siblings, and a few cousins who were in town. But as soon as I walked through the front door, I realized that simple was never going to be the reality in my family. It was chaotic, loud, and judgmental in a way that left you second, guessing every word you said, every movement you made. I was exhausted from a long day at the gym, my hair still damp from a quick shower that hadn't quite dried, and my outfit was as unprepared as I was, a wrinkled tank top, gym shorts, and sneakers that had seen one too many hours of sweat and treadmill miles. I thought nobody would notice, but apparently, that was wishful thinking. I stepped into the living room, holding my water bottle like it was a lifeline, and immediately felt every eye turn toward me. The conversation stopped mid-laugh, and I could practically hear the collective pause in the air. My stomach sank, and then I heard it. A snicker, followed by the unmistakable laughter of my cousins. The kind of laughter that isn't just funny, it's pointed, cruel, meant to exclude. Is she seriously wearing that? Someone whispered, and the way their voices carried through the room made my cheeks burn hot enough to rival the gym heat I just left behind. I froze, my mouth dry, my thoughts scrambling like tangled shoelaces. I had never felt so exposed, so utterly self-conscious in my life. I tried to smile, tried to brush it off with a casual wave as I approached the dining table, but it was like stepping into a spotlight of humiliation. Every movement I made seemed exaggerated, like my limbs were too aware of themselves, too clumsy, too loud. My mom offered a faint smile, the kind that says, just ignore them. But even she looked a little embarrassed, a little unsure of how to handle the situation. My dad muttered something about gym attire at dinner, in that half-serious, half-amused tone that only made things worse. And as I reached my seat, I could hear more whispers, a quiet chorus of judgment that made my stomach churn. Then, as if the embarrassment weren't already at its peak, I noticed him, Liam, my crush. The boy I had been harboring a crush on for months, whose smile made my heart hammer and whose laugh felt like music in my ears. He had been invited by my cousin, who was dating his older sister, and now he was seated across from me, casually leaning back in his chair, effortlessly perfect as always. And of course he noticed too. His eyes flicked down at my tank top, my shorts, my sneakers, and I could see the brief confusion, the flicker of amusement that passed over his features before he quickly masked it with a polite smile. My cheeks flamed hotter, my fingers fidgeted, and I realized that my dream of quietly blending in had been shattered within the first 30 seconds of entering the room. The dinner itself was a minefield. Every anecdote, every joke, every passing comment felt like it was amplified, twisted into ridicule aimed directly at me. My cousins whispered behind their hands, my younger brother snickered in that half-guilty, half-mean way that only siblings can, and my parents kept exchanging glances that I couldn't quite read. Concern, embarrassment, mild amusement. It was impossible to tell. I tried to engage in conversation, to laugh along with the group, but my voice felt foreign, distant, like I was hearing it echo from somewhere else. Every attempt to participate felt like it drew more attention to my appearance, to the absurdity of my gym clothes in a room full of dressed-up relatives. And yet, amidst the chaos, Liam occasionally looked up from his plate, his polite smile returning each time, sometimes accompanied by a soft, "Are you okay?" That made my chest tighten. I wanted to answer, to explain, to apologize for being human in a family that thrived on perfection and appearances. But the words got caught in my throat. I felt trapped between the desire to vanish and the need to maintain some shred of dignity. I watched him interact with my cousins, laughing at their jokes, offering small compliments, and my heart twisted. Full story on my channel, link below.